here in this little old place. I'm Tish, and this is Echo Echo. How is everybody on this fine Friday evening? It's Friday. I apologize for saying that now. Can you see the balloons in the distance? Dancing in the distance. Because it was my last day today at my current school. Yeah! And I start a new school in 2 weeks. And I have a house to move into. Oh, man. Oh, this is me, like, doing a guitar, like, amazing. And got my timetable. I'm teaching visual art and media. Just visual art and media. Just visual art and media. Amazing. Although I was thinking today, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to be more media than visual art because I'm sick of washing up sinks of paint. But I've still got visual art. Anyway, and the school, I don't know if I've said this or not, but it only opened in 2020. So it's a brand new school. Oh, that's the speaker. A brand new school, and they haven't even got year 12 yet, which is our highest grade in Australia. Exciting. So I'm just like, I used my example with with Todd Duncan last night on the live, because he was like, change, you have to suffer for change. You have to suffer for change, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, and you have to have the right mindset, and you have to have this goal, and you have to think of this, and blah, blah, blah. That's Danelle Meoli. And it's like, bitch, I had resolved myself to the fact that I would be here for another year. I was like, I am not going to find another job. I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to save. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Blah, 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 blah. Got a new job, changed my whole life in a second without even knowing that was happening. Okay, so your mindset struggle is the only thing that makes you progress. BS can go jump in a lake. I need to get up and get this friggin' speaker that keeps like beeping at me. Oh, okay. Hopefully that's still going. I tell you what's bad at the moment, guys. The flies in Australia can go get nicked. Yeah, it's getting warmer, but I have not even run my air conditioner in my classroom at the moment. And that is a miracle. I was doing it this time last year. Anyway, we're here again for another anti-MLM thing reaction. And I was gonna look at Elamir because they suck, and they're getting all cocky again, like, we have a brain scan. Anyway, so Antoine Van's husband did like a mindset training. Yeah, great. But then I remembered I had this thing here, which is a podcast episode. What's the name of it? Masterpiece Women. Masterpiece Women, really? And the name of the lady it's Tina Raines. Self-care begins with mindset. Ooh. Coming out hot off the presses on the 15th September 2020. So we're going to listen to that podcast. But I scrolled down and there is an introduction. So we're going to read through it. I need to eat my dinner though. If I'm looking at anything, it's a friggin' fly. All right. Are you where you want to be personally and in business? In this podcast, Danelle Meoli, business leader and founder of AWAKEND, breaks down the importance of speaking life and being mindful of your words. I just told the story before about how I didn't fucking have to do that, and I've gotten what I wanted. Anyway, Danelle Meoli is a faith-filled, accomplished 8-figure entrepreneur, personal development mentor, passionate motivational speaker, and published author. I've only seen her stuff be referred to once in a book, all right? And I just looked at the excerpt. I'll find it later. Anyway, she is the founder. She doesn't say she's one of the founders. And Chief Sales Officer of AWAKEND, a newly launched direct sales company that distributes outstanding wellness products. That's a plural. There are no products. With a focus on mindset training to accelerate achievement. No, that's not. That's the mindset spin for the people. She is an inductee into the 2020 GoPro $1 Million Hall of Fame and 2021 NUL $1 Million Circle. Oh, that's the new you life. Danelle is devoted to helping people rewire their thought life so they can begin to win at life at levels they never thought possible. She has spoken all over the world on mastering one's mindset to attract success in every area of one's life. As a leader, she knew random capital. She knew early in life she wanted to be in business for herself. She got married, had children, and owned businesses, but developing herself as a human being has been the most intricate part of it. She got married 3 times. She had many businesses, both direct sales. Well, direct sales isn't a business. Anyway, due in part to her upbringing, she had a misguided mindset. When she began the journey of getting out of her old mindset and reaching to renewed mindset, her life changed forever. Did we say mindset enough times there? Jesus. She admits she was emotionally a mess through trauma and wounds that were never faced. One day, Danelle poured out her life to a woman that introduced her to her sister and is now Danielle's mentor and taught her everything that changed Danielle's life through scripture. There's nothing worse than a born-again direct salesperson, like for real. She explains how we need to align ourselves with the seed of greatness that was created in us from beginning. When you start working on yourself, things will get better. The last 15 years have been an incredible ride. How did her improved mindset change the way Danelle took care of herself? Once Danelle pointed out her weaknesses, she learned to change her behavior by trying to be seen and heard. Self-care is loving yourself first. Well, she's got a lot of that, except she hates her body. Declaration and words like I am are so important. These declarations helped her with her depression and renewed her mindset. I'd like to know if she has a diagnosis of depression. Even now, she is still learning. Why the capital S again? She's not a goddess. Knowing we are all a work in progress. Danelle expresses the importance to guard your eyes and ears every day. That is what ultimately shapes your belief system. Rewiring your mind to win in life is key. Waking up with joy and peace is a success. Do you know what I say to that? Get fucked, because I have success and I wasn't thinking about it. Danelle is in the pre-launch stage of an incredible organization that has patents on a fat loss accelerator. Is that a way of describing what you have? It has double patents, university blind studies. No, one study. And the average weight loss in the 8 weeks is 21.3 pounds of fat loss. Yeah, so it's only an 8-week program, and that's it, with 22 women in their 30s, 14 years ago. She will have the focus of the movement is health, wealth, and mindset. She will have mindset programs for both adults and children. What the fuck does she have? Where are her qualifications at providing education, mindset education to children? Degrees? Have you got any? Do you know her? She understands the value of children understanding their value at a young age. She probably submitted this, but listen to this sentence again, can we? She understands the value of children understanding their values at a young age. Well, lucky she's not fucking teaching them English. The product and organization are transforming lives naturally. How? There's the product, you can't buy the product yet. How? This is one of the many product lines that the company will be launching. One of, what are you talking about? Like, it's very unclear here. Please contact Tina Trains at tinarains.com for more information about Awaken. Her one piece of advice to women, because she's a feminist. Stop taking advantage of women and then we can actually call you a feminist, okay? Her one piece is to be courageous. Be your biggest believer. Leave behind what does not serve you and don't look back. Of course, that's her. She is her own biggest believer. So with her body, remember, you are a masterpiece. Ew. Oh, look, you can join Masterpiece memberships today and build the business you have always dreamed of. We are starting Think and Grow Rich with a biblical application this month. Succeed in the community. Succeed in the community. It's kind of random. God, is this going to be about God? All things are about God. All right, let's go.
Welcome back, Masterpiece Women. I am so excited today because I have the most amazing women entrepreneurs that I've ever met. It's Danielle, we call her. Danielle, do people pronounce your name Danielle or Danelle?
Tina, you need to get out more because this is not an amazing woman.
Danielle, a lot of people say it wrong because they pronounce it wrong because of the no I. Well, that's what I've always said, and then as soon as I want to make sure our listeners. So Danielle is a faith-based, 8-figure entrepreneur, personal development, mindset mentor. She loves to empower people to just be the best that they can possibly be. Grow. She's passionate. She's a speaker. She's a published author. She's the founder and chief sales officer of Awakened, which I'm super excited about. And she has all kinds of accolades to her name. But most importantly, Danielle, what I love about you is that you have such a hunger and desire to change the world, to help people. It's your why is so big, and I know that by God's vision that you have.
Her why is money, and so she can lose weight. She doesn't want to change lives in any serious way except for make people thinner. That's it.
It's because it's not just about it's about really changing the world. So welcome. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm super excited to be here.
So Danelle Meoli, she's the one who's going to change the world. Yeah, sure.
So tell us a little bit more about who is Danielle? Like, how did you become an entrepreneur? What is your story? You know, I
Heard her story a few times. I don't know, it's like Bosley, like what was their origin story? Who knows? Because it's changed so much. But we'll see what she keeps in the story, what she leaves out,
entrepreneurial. My mom dating us. This will put our age out there, but May, the nail thing was the very first at-home gel nails. I started that in high school, and people, my mom's friends would come over and I'd do their nails. So I always knew at a young age that I wanted to be in business for myself. I didn't really have.
That's not true. That didn't happen. I believe the nails thing happened, but you don't think, I'm going to have my own business. No, you might say, I'm going to do nails. I'd like to work in a salon. Don't think so.
Mindset home. So it was hard for me to get out of my own way. But once I learned mindset and renewal of the mind, my life literally.
Dave Hollis gets a call out. Get out of your own way. Ugh. Who reckons, who's with me here that Rachel probably wrote that? Mm? Mm. Mm.
And with success in all areas. And it's a big process, right, to become an entrepreneur and really be successful. And most people don't realize what's going on between their ears and what their self-talk is that really matters. So being an entrepreneur has been a blessing, but getting myself right and developing myself as a human being has been the most integral part of it. That is so true. And, I would love to talk a little about.
Love a little bit about Kourtney Kardashian. That is so true. You know what, Danielle? Oh shit, what was I gonna say? I was too busy being snarky again. Anyway, I think it's just BS. The whole thing with you've got to get your mind right. I know. It's her, like, before she was going to start Awaken, she was on that $7 million podcast which I reviewed a month ago. And she was talking about how she was going to have a podcast called Rewire Your Brain or something like that. So it's just so interesting that she's gone into this instead, you know?
How did you set out on that? Yeah, so about 16 years ago, I was newly married, 17 years ago, newly married, and thought my life, everyone was like, oh, it's a fairy tale, you have a great husband, and I had a daughter and a beautiful home, and we had our own construction business, and we owned a gym, and I was a mess emotionally. And I realized, like, this isn't fulfilling me. I thought if I just got married the right guy, went to church every Sunday, took care of my kids, committed to being a great wife and mother or an entrepreneur, that I would wake up happy. And I realized there was a lot of stuff, trauma, woundedness that I had stuffed down over the years that I never faced. I was a stuffer. I just learned to not focus on it.
I wonder if she'll say this, but I'm pretty sure they also had a salon as a business.
I'm tough. I don't need to cry. I can handle it. I know a lot of them watching. I read it. Yeah. Yeah. It's because I felt like I always had to fend for myself my entire life, and no one really poured into me and my sister. We didn't know any better. So even though we're both successful now in our lives,
I think you'll find that people don't pour into children. There's some pretty clear laws against that. And also, so you're telling me that this is a dig on her mum, obviously, because she said in the last thing I watched that her mother was a single mother. And the way she characterized her mother yelling at them at the beach, I'm like, oh, she doesn't have a good relationship with her mother. Who knows? But you're telling me there wasn't a teacher who said a kind word to you, your mum's friends who came to your dumb nail salon, like nothing until you fixed yourself? Sure.
nobody guiding us. That's not a pity party. That's just a fact. And I look at my.
It is a pity party. No, it's more like this makes me relatable, okay? So anything an MLM person says, especially like a CEO fucking flies, is on purpose. There's no sort of filler, if you know what I mean. Everything is for a reason and to manipulate, whether they realize it or not. Okay, because someone like Danielle has been doing it so long, it's second nature to her. She has to have one story for everybody else, and she's got like her business side. You know, I would say that's her dominant side, but I'm sure she's not trying to scam her kids, although they probably have terrible body image issues because of her body image issues. especially if she has daughters, and I think she's got daughters or a daughter.
Day and I said, I'm leaving. And I looked at the door and she says, if you walk out, it's not resolved back. So I got out of the car. Eyes, okay, I have to face this. And literally 3 nights later on that work at one of my businesses, we had a couple of businesses, and a woman serendipitously was there. I know it was God, and she and I were talking. She was telling me her life. She kind of like pouring it out. And I started to tell her mine, and it was after hours. The business had already closed, just her and I, which is also weird how that happened, totally a God incident. And when I told her what I was going through, and I kind of, just shared my issues too, how dark it was for me at that time and how unhappy I was. She said, you need to meet my sister. And long story short, her sister is one of the closest people to me in my life now. She's mentored me now for almost 17 years. She taught me renewal of the mind. She taught me Romans 4:17, call those things that are not as though they are. She told me I had to forgive the people that hurt me. She told me I had to face all of the stuff I had stuffed down. And I was kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. They just need all to say they're sorry and be better people, and maybe my life will get better. And she said, no, your life will get better when you get your mind right, and renewal of the mind. And she showed me right in scripture, when you start working on yourself, things will get better. I just no makeup on, she's been crying for hours, just all in hope, all in faith. She listened to my story, I listened to hers. Her life had been radically changed. She had a worse childhood than I did. And when I heard her story, I was so blown away that it inspired me. And I left there with, and I dug deep. I did everything she told me. I got Joyce Meyer's Battlefield of the Mind on CD right back then.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like you were manipulated. And what's this relationship like? What's the relationship between this woman and you? Is she your upline? Like, was she trying to recruit you? Was she? Well, she may have been trying to recruit you for the church, but just because you have a deep conversation with somebody that makes you forget the time passing, doesn't not necessarily an act of God. It's just, you sounded like you were probably pretty lonely at that time. If you were not if you were not able to talk something out with your husband, then that sounds lonely and isolating. So you're gonna really sort of latch onto somebody who will give you that time, especially if all you have at home is children, because even Kayla, love you, Kayla. Can't wait to meet Mia. Kayla had said that, as much as she loved her maternity leave, she enjoys having, you know, adult humans to talk to at work. So yeah, it sounds very isolating, and unfortunately, MLMs love that. That's what they go for. They see the prey, they're apex predators, and they chase after them aggressively.
I think I had that same CD set.
Yep. And I just went, guys, I went to town. I started the books. I started just getting into all the stuff. Literally overnight, my life started to shift, and it's been an incredible ride the last 15 years of it, because I can't stop. I'm so excited about helping other people get their mind right. So once you do, I promise you can't change anyone.
I've heard her say that like she was burned out before, and that, but when she was, deciding whether to leave New Year life and come to Awaken, but also one time, like I read this series of books and it changed my life. And you know what it was about? It was about wizards. And I became a wizard because I read the books, you see? Because that's how books work with Danelle Meoli. You can't have success just from reading a book, okay? And yeah, I was talking about Harry Potter. We hate J.K. Rowling, insert my MFT idea. The kids like that at my last school. I should should have given him a copy of it. Yeah, so J.K. Rowling sucks, but I still like Harry Potter. Anyway, not going to give her any more of my money. She's kind of like Danelle Meoli, I suppose. All right, let's get back to these two ladies talking about CDs. Real relatable content.
What's already been spoken about you and the seeds of greatness God put in you can't come out if the mind is poisoned. And so that's how my journey started. And then I started making great money. You know, things started happening that I could only say came from me walking around saying, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored, I'm more than enough, I'm good enough, I'm loved, I'm happy, I'm whole, even though I didn't necessarily believe it. And then one day I did.
No, you can't be fake with your mindset, sis. It's all going to come crumbling down.
So my whole life shifted. I was always good enough. I didn't have to prove anything to anybody. God knew it, right? Our creator knew we're good enough, but he wants it. He's not going to do everything for us. He's going to tell us to pick up the mat and go. We can't sit in our stuff any longer, right? The clock is ticking. He wants us to do something purposeful with our lives. And he has more for us than we could ever imagine. So that's my, like, literally in a nutshell how I got into it.
I love that.
Yuck. Do things for yourself, not for God, not for a magical, mystical man in the sky that might not exist. You know, like as agnostic as I am, I'm still not thinking, oh, what is that mystical being going to reward me with? You know, like I said to my dad today, I was due for some good luck. You know, I had some bad luck over the last few years. So I was due for some good luck. But I'm not, you know, it's not overboard. This is an absolute and like chance, amazing, and it, you know, like on its surface it looks great. Who knows what it's going to be like in reality? So it's like, I don't know. I think that it limits you when you are thinking like this, because if her mindset goes to hell, like is it a self-fulfilling prophecy that her life would go to hell? You know, it's a question I can't answer. Okay, let's keep listening, shall we?
Whole concept which is too bad. We're a masterpiece created by Christ to go do the work that he found so long ago. Which is why I'm so passionate about what you're doing, because you're not just helping people get healthy by losing weight with this incredible product, but you're
You don't get healthy by losing weight per se. Somebody who has an ED, eating disorder, they're not getting healthy when they lose weight. A cancer patient, they're not getting healthy when they lose weight. So do you want to just have a think about how you use language? Because it isn't, it's a very fat phobic in a sense. Not fat phobic, but it's very ignorant towards like body and health.
the passion has really changed the world, transforming people's minds so they really know whose they are and who they are and the value that comes from within. So I would love for you to talk a little about our topic this week that we've been landing on all week in our different episodes are related to self-care. How did our mindset shift your self-care motivation and change the way you took care of Danielle?
Is she gonna talk about like a vibrator? Because that would be interesting. But I don't think she's going to. So, you know, spoiler. Well, it's not a spoiler because I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be that exciting. I think she's going to talk about praying.
So learning that I was codependent, finding out that codependency is a real thing. I never understood it. If you don't understand it, it means that you spend your time.
I feel like I've been repeating that people are talking down to people. Most people know what codependent means, right? Why are you about to give the definition like we're fucking idiots? And people in MLMs, yeah, they might be kind of like naive to your ways of manipulating, but doesn't mean they're complete fucking idiots.
Unhealthy coping mechanism with unhealthy coping mechanisms, trying to prove you're good enough in some way, shape, or form in your relationships, whether romantic or not. And so when I started to realize what it was that was going on with me, I'm not for labels, but I am for pinpointing what it is, where the weaknesses are, right? Because that's where the enemy tries to come in. And I started to learn that I was, even though I'm super driven.
What do you mean, enemy? Oh no, is the enemy? Am I the drama? Am I the enemy? Oh my god. Let's see.
I'm very type A and I'm very performance driven. I started to learn that a lot of what I was doing was trying to be seen and heard by my ex-husband. When I was married to my husband, I tried to feel valued and validated. And guess what? So many of us do that. And
Hey,
it's not healthy. So what I love is that self-care isn't. I know a lot of those self-care, especially for Christians, tends to get poo-pooed on. I'll promise you. There's
don't be poo-pooing on stuff. The dogs are doing something noisy. I don't know if you'll hear it on the camera. Mabel. Look, the devil's on my head. Ooh, he's dancing. I think she was talking about the devil, but I'm not 100% sure. Because it's like, who's the enemy? Oh, I think the girls are in heat, so we might have to censor back there. You should see Wilbur when he's on the pool. I don't know if that's a universal like saying, but when he is feeling in a loving mood, he gets this like big grin on his face, like, and then he has a go, and then Minnie has a go, and then yeah. But I think both the girls are gonna.
care for yourself. She can't care for you. Surely love yourself. Agape love is the highest form of love. And until you start loving yourself, and believe me, I had self-hatred I didn't even know was there. And not just because I
Go to therapy, but I think I was reading this on Instagram yesterday. Do you see this pimple? My God, I'm 45. This is ridiculous. And it was about, like you can't love anyone else if you don't love yourself. And it was about how that was a toxic phrase. And it absolutely is, I think that it does make you feel like, well, I'll never be good enough. Do you know what I was remembering? Oh my God. Like where I'm moving to, they have this like health food store and they have the nicest protein pancakes. I'm a goodness. And a really nice peanut choc banana smoothie. Like, ooh, damn. Can't wait. As well as sushi. Oh my God. As well as just being able to get food delivered, okay? And you know what else I've missed, okay? Fish and chips. Oh my God, fish and chips. Amazing. There's this one store and it's owned by this retired couple who and it's the most popular fish and chip shop in town. And this retired couple do not need the money. So they'll like work for a couple of months and then just shut the store down for 2 months and go traveling. And then, word will get out, oh, the shop's open, and it'll be it's just a line out the door. That's so good. Excuse me, get away. Come on, out. Get on the bed. God, these noisy bitches. Alright, let's keep going. Sorry for the fish and chip tangent. But fish and chips are good. Oi!
Relationships that weren't healthy. Um, the real true value tonight is to just become so at peace and so in love with yourself. So in love with your relationship with the creator that all of a sudden you wake up and go, I can love others freely because I'm not coming from a place of feeling bad. Self-care has been me learning to just love myself where I'm at, flaws and all. I don't necessarily like what I see in the mirror on certain parts of me. I don't necessarily like certain parts of me.
What have I been saying for the past week? That she's arrogant, except she hates her body image. That's it. She thinks that's her only flaw. And that is so sad because her body is fine. It's a shame that she can't see it with different eyes. Because she's a beautiful woman. She's not overweight in the least, okay? And it's just sad to see somebody who's struggling so badly with their self-image. I've been there, and yeah, like, it's just, like, I hated my body for so long that I just can't, I don't have time for it anymore. I spent a long time thinking I was fat, not being fat, by the way. And now I'm like, I don't care as long as I'm healthy. And it's just, I know what it's like because she's a similar age to myself. Like we were in in our 20s, size 0 was the shit, like size 0 was it. And if you had junk in the trunk, hello, no, nope, was not allowed. Was not allowed. So yeah, it's a shame, but so she is at the moment.
The way I act. So I'm still a work in progress, but I don't condemn myself anymore. I always say I'm not where I want to be, but I'm sure as heck not where I used to be. I'm very, very proud of that. God wants us to just work on every day being better because you're called to, right? Do better when you know better. And we're held to that. So that means that if you know better and you just still sit in your stuff, then you're doing nothing to really bring good blessings into your life. And so I'm a big believer in the more you love on others and the more you love yourself, that's the greatest form of self-care because it heals relationships. It helps you to be more loving. It helps you to drop the defensiveness and the judgment. It starts to open you up to healing the relationships where you've been hurt and wounded. And a lot of us just don't know that it's self-care that is really at the root of it. Just start loving on yourself. And you may have to do what I used to do. Look in the mirror and go, you are loved, you are healthy, you are whole, you are good enough. And that used to make me cry. And then I knew I started to be healed when I wasn't crying when I would say those things, which is super powerful. Declaration.
Maybe my antidepressants make me a bit more numb. I was discussing that with my sister today, actually. Just saying I hadn't processed like the deaths of my grandmothers and stuff. What I did at the time was like, okay, you're going through a stressful time at the moment because work was really stressful. So I just need to put this grief away. All right. So we just need to put it away. And I don't know if I'll ever process it, but I don't think that self-care is found in loving others. I think in her eyes, this is just my interpretation, that she gets her value from others, and that's why that is important to her. I don't think that it's essential. But what I hear in what she's saying is she needs therapy because you cannot heal yourself through self-care. You just can't. It's more than that. And you can't heal yourself by going to church and by praying. Okay, you need a therapist. That's completely different.
And the words I am are so important. And I know, Tina, you know that. But for me, no one ever taught me to say I am my children. I am loved, I am strong, I am healthy. Now, speaking back to the friends.
Don't you love it? Well, you know what's so exciting about it? One of the things that really excites me about what you're doing is that whole mindset. So, and I teach people the competition, and one of the ladies was in the class she homeschooled, and her kids were listening to the chapter on auto-suggestion, which is really just replacing the lies with the truth and really affirming yourself and repeating your vision to yourself so you see yourself there. I am can. And so he was having an issue. He says, Mama, I can do it because I'm made in the image of Christ and I am powerful and I'm strong and I can take it myself. And I went, yeah,
Yes, and it's so.
Poor, I don't like that. I'm looking for my, sorry, I got up to look for my knockoff Apple Pen. I don't know if that is what you should be doing, but I suppose that's why they're homeschooled. I don't buy Danielle's like faith-based business woman persona, but yeah. I might just pause it because I just need to look for something. Okay, we're back. Found my pen so I can do some drawing as I go.
Because then when the words of death are spoken over them, and I don't mean death, I mean any words that are spoken from your mouth are either from one side of your tongue or the other. They're either calling life and speaking life, or they're speaking death, which means speaking failure, speaking labels, speaking this is our present reality, and I guess this is the way it's going to be. But when you use the other side of your tongue, you learn to mostly stay over here. Even as children, we shift them. They start my issues with depression over the years were literally overnight lifted when I learned that my words were calling in more of that energy, more of that gut.
That tells me that she has not been diagnosed. Did my hair get messy then? Because the dogs were like, I was trying to just pat one of them, and when you do that, they just go, no. Oh, she has baby hairs. All right. Danielle, if you have depression, because she's using the term depression, that's a chemical imbalance. So I don't really like the way she's using it.
That unhealthy junk I was letting it create an atmosphere in my life of depression, of sadness, of not being good enough, not measuring up. Am I ever going to be able to fix myself? And can I get these people around me to help me? No, I can't do that. But our family, all of us, are radically transformed because when one of you becomes courageous and works on just yourself and forgets everything else, just be humble and say, I'm just going to go to work on myself and practice the self-care of speaking life and believing that you're more than enough and believing you actually have been given gifts too. We're not the only.
That sounds very exhausting if you are not positive, if you aren't positively inclined. And, I would say that I I don't know. I think that I am optimistic. I'm just kind of jaded. Like I always think, things will turn out in the end. What's Wilbur doing? Wilbur. I think he's hiding a ball, actually. Yeah, so I think that, I mean, depression obviously gives you different emotions, and you can be, downhearted and things like that, but it's unrealistic to just be positive 100% of the time. And then it does turn into toxic positivity. That's what I'm hearing here. Imagine being her child. You can't even say, "Oh, I got a B when I expected an A. That I'm really sad about that." Oh, you better not say that. You can't be negative around here. Like, I don't like it. It feels restrictive.
Yes. Wake up one day, feel hot. So that means saying is going to be right what you call it. All those things that are not as though they are what you think on, what you bring about. Think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. It's imagine this. When I teach people and I speak in front of thousands of people, I'll be like, okay, raise your hand. Anyone who here still struggles with, am I good enough? When I tell you, Tina, every seminar, every workshop, every church, every high school I've been in, this is what happens. 95% of the real, 95%.
Tina, do you want to wait for her to say the statistic that she's making up before you agree with her? Man, the balloons are man down over there. I'm gonna get up to get this. I found the pen. It's flat, so I need to charge it. So I'm gonna press the spacebar and then get up and get the charger.
Very successful. They raise their hand, and a lot of times you see people crying, kids, teenagers crying. And that tells me one thing. If there's anything I can share with you, be kind. Try to, at this point in your life, try today to say they're acting angry, they're acting not healthy.
I don't think that would happen because people in MLMs don't like to say that they're not feeling worthy. Like I can understand, that she would be out there, who doesn't feel worthy to be here? And maybe, you got some noobs up there, but you gotta pretend. You gotta pretend. And you know what? I've seen heaps of teenagers cry. I made some cry. I made someone cry yesterday, just by accident. 'Cause he had made a clay thing out of like the sort of earthenware clay, and it had dried, so green. It had gone to the green state, and then the students were going to paint it to put in the kiln, and we had to get it all done because it had to be done by today. Anyway, when he went to go and paint it, it fell apart. So he was very devastated by that. And I was talking to him and I said, "Hey, if you paint this, I can glue it back together. All you need to do is just paint it and we'll glue it back together once it's fired." He didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to hear it. So he had a hood on and he closed it all the way up and he was like down, and I kept talking to him. I said, "Hey, I know that this is really tough and you worked really hard on that and it sucks that it broke. But you know what? My stuff broke too. And we work around it. Things break in art, especially with clay. My God, I don't know how to make things stay together." Shh, don't tell anyone. But so I was keeping on talking to him. I knew he was upset. And then I just said, "Okay, look, we can work on this. All right. But if you're not if you don't want to do it, that's okay. You can make something out of polymer clay, because polymer clay can go in just a normal oven. Anyway, he was upset for about 5 more minutes, and then he made some awesome things out of polymer clay, which he picked up today. So, I can make kids cry too, Danielle. All right. It's not a skill. Oh, I unplugged my mouse, so I need to use my actual keypad.
Because they're hurting doesn't mean it's right. They're not on the hook. That's where grace and mercy comes in. And I'm learning more in my life, even now, opening a new
I was
company.
going to say, right now, you're probably having to really practice that.
Gonna put a ton of great mercy out. That's the higher you go, new level, new devil. Starting my own company, walking away from what I've done for 12 years and into the seat of a chief sales officer, launching this vision of helping people with their mindset, adults, children, and getting people healthy and changing their mindset and their lives. There's a lot of detractors that have come forward to try and take us or me and say, right? And when that comes, you have two choices. You can pick up your sword and fight back, or you can give it to God and say, you're going to fight my battles. And I have had to put into play all that I've taught others. I have had to say, God, I bless them, even when they say crazy things about me, even when they have no idea who I am as a human being. And I say, I'm good, Lord. I'm going to take it. I'm going to run with this vision because you told me this is the way to go. You have lit the lamps. I am walking this, and it's a walk of faith because no one likes to be judged. No one likes to be wrongly talked about. But there's 900,000 other people who say, thank you so much, we're with you. And you can't focus on those little people in your
900,000 people? What? Look, I think this was just made for Danelle Meoli. Okay, yeah. We're in. We're the devil, all right? Because if God's lighting your way, Satan is lighting mine. All right. Look how nice my piercing goes into the. Yeah, okay. I do not know her. It's true. But I have watched a fair amount of video footage of her, and she's told stories about her life because stories sell. So, I'm not coming out of nowhere here. This is not just made up. These are assertions I am making based on the information that she has presented and collating and, organizing them in my brain and saying, okay, well, do you know what? She talked about this the other day. And when she was talking about this, and this is why I know, I can tell, in my opinion, that she has poor body image. She speaks terribly about her body, but she brags about everything else. She's very braggadocious. So, yeah, I don't know you, but I'm just interpreting your actions and your words. I don't claim to know you, all right? And just because I'm saying things about you that you haven't said yourself, it doesn't mean I'm the devil, okay? Neither does just wearing the glasses. So, new levels, new devils. Yeah, here you go, bitch. Because what you're proposing to do is use toxic diet culture to sell a very expensive product in a business model that is very exploitative and where 99% of people generally make no money. So tell me again about how it's for the people. All right? And God, unfortunately, Danielle, but fortunately for us, God is not going to fight your battles. We're here. We got sassy little beards. All right. Oh, I went for the mouse again. I'm an idiot.
don't focus on Focus on what God says, focus on what your purpose is, and understand that it is one of the hardest tests in your life to be good to yourself when you feel like other people are pointing out all these things that may or may not be even true about you. And I love that it's testing me because I know it's going to take me to a new level. It's just some days I'm like, okay, I've kind of had enough today. And I've just decided not to focus on those things for my own well being because I know who I am and God knows my heart. If you know.
And you know what? These videos aren't for her. That's right. These videos are for people who are trying to get information. And that's why I'm doing them. And that's why I have done them. That's why I've done stuff about Van. That's why I've done stuff about. There's one more CEO. Who else have I been doing it on? Oh, crap. Who else? Oh, Veronica Bay. Okay, because they're recruiting heavily. They've got new things. They've been in network marketing for a long time. They know the game and they've got sway with people. So because they are so hardcore recruiting, I want this voice out here so that if anyone Googles them, Googles the company, searches it up, whatever, they're going to find some information from me. And perhaps they'll watch it and that'd be great. It's not for her. My beard's bristling.
Know that God knows your heart, you can't fail. If you come from a place of you're going to fight back, you're going to denigrate, you're going to libel, slander, all that, then you're just in the same place as the people, your enemies, as I would say, right? They're really, to me, they're not enemies, just hurting people who, for some reason, it causes them to act a way that isn't really nice.
I'm actually really fucking nice, okay? But also, I'm not hurting. I mean, no, I'm not hurting. I'm pretty good today. I'm not hurting. So, they just hurt people. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to call out your BS. That's it. Okay, it's not hate, it's education. It's information. It's systematic. It's hydromatic. I'm sorry.
Success, and there's always someone trying to pull up because they're either not where they are, they want to be where they are, or they just are flat out jealous that you're not able to succeed. But when God calls you, He equips you. And I look at you, what you've been doing for the last 12 months.
I hate this argument. I am not jealous. I am not jealous whatsoever. Okay? I do not want to be a salesperson. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't want what she has. I am happy with what I have. Okay? And that means that I'm probably happier than Danelle Meoli will ever be. Because she wants what someone else has got. She wants that success. Okay? I hate this. It feels very much like the no shame sales game thing of like you can't be happy for anyone else who's succeeding. You have to be just all about your, I hate that bitch for succeeding while I'm not succeeding. It's like, no, that's dumb.
It's an interesting season, and I would love for you to talk just a hair about how the mindset changes. There's sometimes this whole thing about direct sales, like it's almost like a stigma.
Yeah.
So you have to overcome that.
Oh, Tina, bring in the hard questions. Except it's not something you have to overcome. It's a problem, all right?
Have to just not pay attention to it and just know that when God calls you to do something, you go do it, no matter what anybody says. So I know you hit on that a little bit, but from that specifically, like how did you overcome that? What were the ways that you overcame some of that in this industry? Because that is your industry.
Yeah, so it's really fading out, guys. Direct sales is now like e-commerce, making money online. Everybody's doing it. And if
Wrong. Is that something you're just saying? But no, they're not. It's not true. And it's not a very successful part of e-commerce either. I mean, for the money that it makes, but they're not successful. They're not sustainable.
they're not doing it, they're talking about doing it, or they're trying to find one that fits a company that fits their how their personality and what they want to focus on making money with. So
Nope. Not true.
well, branding is online branding and online representing of a company and affiliate marketing, even sharing your favorite hair dryer, your favorite hair tool, your favorite lipstick. A lot of companies have just moved over to monetizing the people online who are willing to talk about how much they love their product or product line.
Yep. So you're talking about affiliate marketing, which is not the same as direct sales.
So for me, Tina, it's there's still some old school people out there who haven't caught on that everything's online and big box retail is dying. But if that does come up, I just shared that, network marketing is used by Coca-Cola and by Verizon and Starbucks. If you share, you get, if you refer a customer to anything.
No. Wrong. That's affiliate marketing. That is actually directly incorrect. All right. So you're telling a lie now.
Big company, they're going points or dollars or, bucks towards you buying more of their product line, right? That's network marketing. That's direct selling. I came into the industry 12 years ago when there really still wasn't, Facebook wasn't really being used much and it wasn't a big deal back then. What was a big deal was, oh, you're in one of those. And I just let it ride. And as soon as I started making money and it was paying my bills, I didn't care what anyone thought. So I'm like, I can be an at-home mom. I was making 6 figures a year at the end of my first year doing it right from home. So I was like, I don't honestly care what people think because my bills are paid now and I'm helping people get help.
I knew she didn't. But like I said, this isn't for her. This is for anyone who's looking up information on her.
Pharmaceutical company too. So it was in alignment with what me and my husband loved. It was making us money. It was getting people healthy and other people were making money and we felt good about them making a paycheck. So I kept going. You gotta guard your eyes and ears every day of your life, whether it's online, whether it's
You've got to guard your eyes and ears. Well, if this isn't information control in the bite model, which is Dr. Stephen Hassan, his model of cult thinking. So yeah, great work, Danielle.
Because that's what also shapes your belief system. And most people have a faulty belief system, which is why they stay stuck in life. Your job is to override that system and be an active partner and literally rewriting and rewiring your mind so that you get in alignment with all the people that are winning big in life. And they're winning big, not just financially, forget money. Money doesn't fulfill you. I've lived with no money for many years, couldn't feed my kids, couldn't buy shoes for my husband, like literally holes in shoes, penniless, in massive debt. And then having money and making a lot of money, oh, sure, it solves some problems. Sure. Can you make memories? Can you do great things? Can you tithe? Can you give to charity all over the world? Sure. Do we do that? Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, I love giving my money away to an entity that really doesn't need it.
But it doesn't fulfill you. What fulfills you is waking up with joy and peace, regardless of your circumstances. It's being able to stay calm and focused and know that you are okay and that it's going to be handled. And when you get to that place in life, that's when you're wealthy. I consider myself a wealthy person, whether I'm making big money or not, because I have finally found peace. I know how to love on others. I know how to love myself.
Isn't that convenient that she's like, yeah, that's so convenient. I'm successful, whether I'm not or am.
Because there's days you're not going to love yourself. Anything, it's a lifestyle. Some lifestyle of being good to yourself and not condemning yourself when you mess up. I mess up, but at least now I know what humility is. I didn't grow up learning these things. Respect, humility. Humility is saying, I am a flawed human being. I'm never going to be perfect. But if I have wronged you, even if I feel like I didn't do it on purpose and I know my intentions were pure, I am still sorry for what it made you feel like or what it did to you. We live that in our household. That's why I'm remarried and have a really healthy relationship. We have little things that we work on all the time, which is communicating with it from not a place of ego, but from a place of, ooh, if I hurt you, I'm just going to listen to what you have to say. And 90% of the time, it ends up great. The other 8 to 10% of the time, it's because one of us has something we need to work on, and I consider that a blessing. If it's coming up and it's ugly, it means it's only God showing you that that's what you need to work on. So rejection, abandonment, not unworthiness, feeling sidelined, invalidation, all those things. When someone invalidates me, I used to, in the past, like I would take it bad. Now it's still a thing. If I feel like I wasn't heard, now what I say is, may I speak? And I take a minute, I take a breath. I don't go for the old Italian great, get mad and flip out, which was the old me, because I used to be fiery. Now it's, okay, I just want you to know.
I bet you she's still fiery.
You're okay with me talking now. We try to, everyone takes turns in the house, even our kids. We let them, everyone gets a turn to say anything they want. I very simply say, I'd like to communicate to you how it makes me feel when you do this. And when you use that phrase, it's very healing because you're not saying to the person that they're bad. You're not saying you're a jerk. You're not calling names. You're not being angry because anger is just a mask for hurt or for fear. My anger most of my life was because I was afraid or I was hurt. So now I learned to say, you have hurt me. I know you probably didn't mean it. Here's what I heard when you said that, and it made me feel less than. When I do that, usually the person goes, oh my God, that's not what my intention was. I love you. And there's a book called Critical Conversations
That just sounds like you can manipulate people quite easily, which I think she can.
Critical Conversations. Tina, that book is changing my life. And I'm always about personally developing yourself. And basically it says the sooner you would approach an issue that has hurt you or is that causing someone else's hurt, and the sooner you sit down and say, I'm going to take a breath and just speak my piece and say, I'm sorry, the sooner you do that, the less likely it is to become this resentment that builds for days, weeks, and years, right? And that's ultimately why our jobs end or our relationships and marriages end or why we can't get along with our children is because everybody's feeling unheard or not good enough. Meanwhile, it just means that we have to have these critical conversations.
She had her Khloe Kardashian. No, Courtney. That's so true. Yeah. Look, this is just easy. It's like network marketing 101. It's almost boring. I wish I could make this faster, but I don't think I can. Oh, not with the friggin' mouse anyway. Because the mouse isn't plugged in because I'm trying to charge my stupid other thing. Nope. Alright, we're gonna listen to it. Oh, I love that. There's times when I'm like, and then I'm like, ooh. That's fun. Let's have more sound effects. Danielle, please and thank you.
I just did a video and I said that you, that person that sticks your head in the sand, that can be me or used to be me. It's not me any longer.
Right.
I choose for it not to be me because it's so imperative that we address issues immediately they happen.
Yes.
And oftentimes that was my greatest weakness. Even as a CEO, I had hundreds of employees. Something would happen. I had to let somebody go, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I just
the avoidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the avoidance is us not wanting to confront what makes us uncomfortable. But I promise you, when you make a commitment to someone that you're going to talk to them in love, even if they have set you off by like to a level that you've never, and they've really hurt you. Your job is to say, we're going to speak when I'm calm and you're calm. And then I'm going to tell you what you said what it made me feel. And I'm going to leave it at that. The minute it starts to get hot, you know what we do? We go, we'll take a couple minutes. It's an adult timeout. It allows you to come back to a place of, I love this person, and the last thing I want to do is cause myself or this person harm. Because I can tell you, if I had to be judged, and will be, but if I had to be judged on my past of what I consider the worst thing about me, I wasn't a thief, I wasn't a criminal, I wasn't a bad person, but I used words to hurt when I was hurt. And I have learned that words sometimes that you speak are never going to be, they're never going to be undone, right?
Like toothpaste.
That's so funny. You know, I thought she was going to say something that was, quite shocking. And, this was my past, but I'm not my past anymore. And I used bad words. I'm sure that you did worse things than that based on, your current behavior, because you have to have lied at some point in time. You've had to have manipulated people, because that's what MLMs and big team builders know, that they are taking advantage of people. So, I don't think you're actually telling the truth to yourself as much as you think you are. But, this is probably all just bullshit, It's all just to get people to sign up with her.
Right?
Like that. That's his analogy. And it's like, once you say it, it's hard to take it back, guys. And that's why kids in school, they get made fun of by a teacher, or they get put down that they're stupid or they're not good enough. They carry that through life, and that becomes the lens which they see themselves. Our job is to make sure we look through the lens and say to ourselves, you're loved, you're good enough. And then we go love on people knowing that they've got junk, being cognizant of their junk and saying, I'm not here to fix them. I'm here to be good enough that I know that when I'm talking to them, if they hurt me, I'm gonna deliver it in a calm fashion without an accusation. Which really, and you guys, if you do this, you're gonna see breakthrough. Get back to Tina and let her know if this is something you start to implement, because it's going to radically change your life, radically. And I love that we're there now and that we can do these things. And that's called progress. We're not called to perfection. We're called to progress.
Exactly, because every day God says, "Oh, here's another little area.
Here's a little
onion peel. Okay,
you.
honey, you
Yeah.
you kind of worked on this.
Right.
This one now today.
Exactly.
So we're all work in progress, but we all are made in His image, and we are masterpieces. And
I think that's, I don't know, doesn't the freaking Bible tell you to be, I don't know, humble or some shit? It's just so simplistic, and, it superficial. That's how it feels.
so in that, He also calls us to take care of our body, to take care of our mind, to hold thoughts captive, and to really, understand that we're wonderfully, beautifully made by Him in His image.
Yeah.
So if we're made in His image, then we're pretty amazing. And so because it's Him, not prideful of ourselves, it's not pride, it's knowing our value, that we are so valuable because we're His. So it's an exciting place to be. And I would love for you to share briefly, though, about how you are changing millions of lives moving forward with this amazing company that you're starting.
So it was really just a dream in my heart, and I got burned out in the industry. I got tired of, just the ups and downs, and I just felt this real call to a female owner of a direct selling company. We are almost 80% female driven industry, but yet there are very few women at the top. And I had talked to God about it for years. I knew that when it was the right time, it would just happen. Law of non-resistance. If something's, I never push things. I've learned to stop pushing a square peg into a round hole. That chances are, if it's not showing up for me, then God's saying I'm not ready. I don't look at it like, why God anymore. I go, all right, I put it out there. You know what's on my heart. And when I'm ready, if it's for me, you're going to present the opportunity. And that's exactly how the company was birthed. I called a friend, told him what was going on in my life. He's a powerhouse in the industry. He was already retired, doing really well in his life, and I'm good friends with his wife, and they have a beautiful 4-year-old daughter. And I just said, I think I'm going to make a change. And he said, Danielle, you're a powerhouse. It's time you open your own company. Guys, I didn't flinch. I went, I would love to. And then
I would love to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm not wrong. She had a team of 500,000. Half a fucking million, okay? That is a huge team at New You Life, considering I'd never even heard of it, okay? That is a phenomenal amount of people. And you said you felt burned out and you don't want to do network marketing. And then they were like, oh, just seems a little bit too perfect, you know?
I said, but it's going to take like multi-millions. And he goes, we got the funding. I said, okay. And then we just birthed, like literally, it was so beautiful because him and his wife, their vision for what they wanted to put out to the world was the exact same vision. And Awakened basically is three pillars, which is the heartbeat of the company: Awakened Health, which are the amazing products we're bringing out to the world. We have 28 doctors, MDs, who have already signed up in our company, a bunch of naturopaths and homeopaths that have come in already.
Their qualifications don't mean shit. GPs, general practitioners, because I'd be interested to see some current qualifications.
That love our science behind our first product, which is a leptin-based hormone balancing product that helps you release fat easily. I've already lost 21 pounds on it, which I'm thrilled about.
You're not allowed to claim weight loss. It's against the FTC guidelines.
Excited about that part. Whatever else belongs to the future, I'm sure it's going to be amazing, but I am beyond excited.
It's epic. Yeah, epic product. We have the product lines that we're coming out with. Then we have the Awakened Mind Body, which we call the Awakened Self. And all that means is we want to get your mind right. So we have a mindset program that's based on everything we spoke about today. And we have a body program, which is for people to get exercise for free, movement, workouts online that are already happening that people can plug into, recorded. So if you can't make it live, you can work out after work or early morning with the recordings, and people love it. And then Awakened Wealth, which is teaching people how to build an online business successfully, but also teaching them that real wealth is from, like I said earlier, just working on who you are, becoming the best version of yourself, and naturally you're going to have good things come into your life, because really, truly, you reap what you sow. Is
That's so true.
100% certainty, but I have seen it work in my life. When you are planting good seeds, when you're doing things anonymously, when you are quietly doing things behind, not online, just working on you and working on helping others, what happens is everything starts to become a harvest in your life, and you start to have that abundance and overflow that was meant for you, right? We're all heirs. We have so much waiting for us. Get rid of that mindset of, that people who strip down to nothing and suffer are the real, believers. No, true believers are meant to thrive, because without us thriving, we can't go out into the world and make a massive difference. So that's what the company is about. We have a foundation we're putting together, not so we can say we're giving.
That's the company. That's what the company's about. She didn't mention Zenith. She didn't mention weight loss. She didn't mention anything specific. So she's following her own rules of not mentioning it, but it's too mysterious at this point in time.
But because we really want to take funds and put it out there anonymously without our company name on it, to help single moms and single dads, or people burdened with medical bills and disabled and truly can't pay their bills, or maybe there was a tragedy and a house burned down. That's our part. Helping children, getting into schools and making sure they have food. These kids don't have meals.
Fuck off. We don't want your conditional food with no fatties,
Right around the corner. They don't have backpacks. They don't have computers at home. They don't have internet access to get the education they need. They don't have mentorship, someone who can say,
you don't give a shit about that, okay? So it'd be nice if you could stop pretending, but I don't think you're going to.
You are special. We do that at a base level here now. Everything changes. Everything changes when we do that. So yes, are we putting great products out? Absolutely. Do we love the science? Do we love
One product.
people feeling good? Sure. But really, I started the company with my business partners because we're tired of the status quo. We're tired of, hey, just buy my product and make some money. And, that's not us. We want to affect a change that's to me.
Are you going to challenge her on that at all? Tina, come on.
Me and to them, all about inside what's going on. What are you carrying around? What can we help you get rid of? If we can help you raise up as a human being to be a better person, not only does your health naturally get better, okay, your immune system gets stronger when you're not carrying junk around. You can actually go around and make the kind of effect on your world and the world around you in a way that's truly powerful. So I'm a living proof of it. Tina's living proof of it. Hopefully you guys.
I still don't know who Tina is, by the way. Maybe you do. Maybe everybody knows who Tina is, but I'm confused and tired, as usual. Eyes are getting heavy. Palms are sweaty. Blah, 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 blah. That was 8 Mile, a really bad rendition. Don't judge me. But don't judge me too harshly.
Have some real. You're limitless. Don't limit yourself. It really, you can do anything.
I love. Yeah, that's so true.
So many gold nuggets.
One Piece. What do we think this is going to be? Bitches and hoes ain't. No. Tricks. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. I was like, hang on, I got that lyric wrong. So, can we start again? What do we think she's going to say about women? Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Is she going to say that? Is she going to say, after all, it's Wonderwall? I can't think of any other songs. That's what we get. The end of the night. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
Be courageous. It took me being courageous to get out for us to
Be courageous. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. I suppose that correlates. Depression? Okay. Depression can be beaten by courage. Alright? As much as I love The Wizard of Oz. Okay. We love The Wizard of Oz. Judy Garland, she is my goddess. Okay? But courage doesn't beat depression. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. I wish it did, because then I wouldn't have to pay for antidepressants. And I could have had a much better time in my 20s and 30s.
face my demons, face what was bothering me, face what was I had pushed down. And when I got out of that bed and I stopped sleeping all day and I stopped focusing on everything that was wrong in my life and stopped condemning myself, and I just said, Danielle, be courageous, be sure.
I'm a fairly successful human and I fucking love sleeping. Love it. Love, especially on a day off. It's the best.
Strong, be courageous, be strong. And I just stayed on that. And I put like what I call literal cement boots on. I was steadfast that I was not going to look back in the rear view. I wasn't going to look back at my mistakes. I was only going to focus on what can I do to be the best person today and get healed. And that changes everything. So be courageous when you start a new business. One of the things you're going to have are detractors. You're going to have the enemy whispering in your ear that you're not equipped. You are more than equipped. Everything you need is already in you. The stuff that sits on that stuff needs to come off in order for you to rise up and be super successful. You already have it. continue. You started that business, you have a dream in your heart, it's already yours. When you say it's yours and believe it's yours and you are courageous and you don't focus on the naysayers and the people who don't believe in you, trust me, you wake up one day and go, I had it in me all along. I just needed to be my greatest believer. You have to be your greatest coach. I can coach you, Tina can coach you, but if you're not coaching yourself the right way, all of this doesn't matter. So my words to you, be courageous, stand on the truth and not on what the other side of people's tongues have to say about you, about your company, about your product or your service. If you don't have that strong conviction, it'll take you out of the game. And nothing greater than I love seeing other women win. Men are wonderful and I love the gifts that men have, but man, I'm all about let's go, ladies. We don't have to sit back and be who others think we should be. We're going to go out and be who we know we are and go out there and kick butt and be really proud of yourself.
I love that. Thank you for being with us.
At the expense of other people on that pyramid, you know? Yeah, you do have a whole bunch of people at the top, you know, making money, but at what cost?
Women teaching, and we're going to launch it again this fall. Of building an online business. We're doing that program. We're also doing the Think and Grow Rich with the
Love.
And one of the things we always talk about is exactly that: understanding your value, repeating. Oh, so much of what you talked about today, I was like, wow. It was like listening to the Think and Grow Rich book. That's good stuff. Like, and when you finally get that, you see yourself where you want to be. But the one thing that you landed on over and over and over was it is not success versus significance, right? You can be successful financially, doesn't mean you have a significant life, right?
Amen.
And when you get to this place,
Amen. Yeah, because a lot of people in network marketing, especially, flex. So a lot of them do not have the same lifestyle that they are portraying. And that's part of the problem with MLMs.
with that, it's not just, we're going to be very successful financially. It's a given. Just the way God's aligned everything. I believe
It's not a given though. Okay? And it's grace to put it like that.
successful. But wow, the opportunity to go make an impact all over the world in people's health, in people's mindsets, in people knowing who they are, we will be able to be used to help transform the world. That's a big why. And when you're looking at setting your vision as to where you want to be, you start claiming those words, I am, and listen at whatever that vision is God's given you. Well, if you don't have a big why attached to it, dollars really, at the end of the day, don't excite you. Like, if I put out there, I want to make $1 million a month, yeah, that's exciting. It's good. I'll be able to do great things about it. But it's not that exciting to go after money, but to go after making a significant impact on people's lives all over the world. That excites me. That's what excites me about you and Awakened in the business. And so, ladies, if you have not joined our Masterpiece membership, be sure you join it. We are going to have those two programs launching actually the end of September. We do have a retreat coming up, but it's sold out. Sorry. Well, next year, we'll let you know about the next retreat. So if you're watching our podcast, make sure you leave us a review and join us in our Facebook group, Masterpiece Women Entrepreneurs. We're growing business God's way. Have a great day, ladies, and thank you for being here, Danelle.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And if you are interested in our company, please reach out to Tina. She's one of our fastest growing leaders, and she's just a joy and a blessing. So
She is a leader. There you go. This feels a little bit like um you know, just the word has got me. It just feels dishonest in all honesty.
I wish you guys all the best. God bless. Thanks for having me.
So there we go. Ugh, that was awful. Oh, she's awful. She's just awful. And, you know, oh, insects galore at the moment. Flies and so on. Okay. Yeah, new levels, a new devil's bitch, and the devil's here, and the devil is fucking fabulous, okay? What do I think of Danelle Meoli? I think that she would make a great snack. I shall devour her. And what I mean by that, I mean, like, make people more aware of how Awakened is a scam, and she's the head scammer. My beard is bristling at the humor. How is it that just by chance I have these fucking devil things? That's so good. I love them. Oh, look, now I'm free to color. Ooh, monobrow moment. Anyway, let's all make a pinky swear. No joining Awakened, okay? Come to the computer. We solemnly swear we will not join Awakened. Done. Alright, thank you. That's legally binding, I think you'll find. Anyway, I think that was interesting just to see. She did definitely bring out the church talk, well, you know, the God talk, but I think I can still see who she is as a person, and it's not a good. She's not good. She definitely, you know, revealed more in the, you know, lack of self-esteem thing, and yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. You know, we're still just growing a little channel, little bit by bit, and I love y'all. Love y'all. Okay? Okay? I'm gonna have more time to make some videos because it's school holidays and I can't just like move the whole time. I do have some work that I've got to do for my old school, so yeah, but tomorrow I'll sleep in. Ooh, ooh. I've had like late nights and early mornings all this week, so not looking forward to the commute time in the new school because at the moment I live about 3 minutes away from the school and the new place is about half an hour. So I'm gonna have to get up earlier. I hate it. I hate it. But I have a new job. Oh my god. I've got a new house. Oh my god. Everything's coming up, Tish. Oh, and we got Halloween coming, and we got Tishmas. Okay, you don't even know. You don't even know about Tishmas. Oh my god, it's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, thank you. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell 2 friends, then they can tell 4 friends, and they can tell 7 friends. The next ones can just do 1 friend. Okay. All right. Take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Probably. See. Can we get? How do I get DC to collab with me again? No. I'd like other collaborations if people want to collaborate with me. I like collaborating. Yeah, it's good. Oh, I thought this was going to be longer. All right, that's it, people. So have a lovely Friday for the Americans. Waking up. And I'll see you next time. All right.